Established as an official Belgian colony in 1908, the then Republic of the Congo gained its independence in 1960, but its early years were marred by political and social instability. Col. Joseph Mobutu seized power and declared himself president in a November 1965 coup. He subsequently changed his name, to Mobutu Sese Seko, as well as that of the country, to Zaire. Mobutu retained his position for 32 years through several sham elections, as well as through brutal force. Ethnic strife and civil war, touched off by a massive inflow of refugees in 1994 from fighting in Rwanda and Burundi, led in May 1997 to the toppling of the Mobutu regime by a rebellion backed by Rwanda and Uganda and fronted by Laurent Kabila. Kabila renamed the country the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, but in August 1998 his regime was itself challenged by a second insurrection again backed by Rwanda and Uganda. Troops from Angola, Chad, Namibia, Sudan, and Zimbabwe intervened to support Kabila's regime. In January 2001, Kabila was assassinated and his son, Joseph Kabila, was named head of state. In October 2002, the new president was successful in negotiating the withdrawal of Rwandan forces occupying the eastern DRC. 2 months later, the Pretoria Accord was signed by all remaining warring parties to end the fighting and establish a government of national unity. A transitional government was set up in July 2003, it held a successful constitutional referendum in December 2005 and elections for the presidency, National Assembly, and provincial legislatures took place in 2006.
In 2009, following a resurgence of conflict in the eastern DRC, the government signed a peace agreement with the National Congress for the Defense of the People, CNDP, a primarily Tutsi rebel group. An attempt to integrate CNDP members into the Congolese military failed, prompting their defection in 2012 and the formation of the M23 armed group named after the 23rd of March 2009 peace agreements. Renewed conflict led to large population displacements and significant human rights abuses before the M23 was pushed out of DRC to Uganda and Rwanda in late 2013 by a joint DRC and UN offensive. In addition, the DRC continues to experience violence committed by other armed groups including the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, the Allied Democratic Forces, and assorted Mai-Mai militias. In the most recent national elections, held in November 2011, disputed results allowed Joseph Kabila to be re-elected to the presidency. The DRC constitution bars President Kabila from running for a third term, but the DRC government has delayed national elections, originally slated for November 2016, to December 2018. The failure to hold elections as scheduled has fueled sporadic street protests by Kabila's opponents and has exacerbated tensions in the tumultuous eastern DRC regions.
Geography:
Congo, Democratic Republic of the.
Location: Central Africa, northeast of Angola.
Geographic coordinates: 000 N 2500 E.
Map references: Africa.
Area total:
2,344,858 square kilometers.
Land:
2,267,048 square kilometers.
Water:
77,810 square kilometers.
Country comparison to the world:
12.
Area comparative: slightly less than 1/4 the size of the US.
Area comparison map.
Area comparison map.
Land boundaries, total
10,481 kilometers.
Border countries, 9.
Angola 2,646 kilometers, of which 225 kilometers is the boundary of Angola's discontiguous Cabinda province. Burundi 236 kilometers, Central African Republic 1,747 kilometers, Republic of the Congo 1,229 kilometers, Rwanda 221 kilometers, South Sudan 714 kilometers, Tanzania 479 kilometers, Uganda 877 kilometers, Zambia 2,332 kilometers.
Coastline, 37 kilometers.
Maritime claims, territorial sea.
12 nanometers.
Exclusive Economic Zone.
Since 2011, the DRC has a Common Interest Zone agreement with Angola for the mutual development of offshore resources.
Climate tropical, hot and humid in equatorial river basin, cooler and drier in southern highlands, cooler and wetter in eastern highlands, north of equator. Wet season, April to October. Dry season, December to February. South of equator. Wet season, November to March. Dry season, April to October.
Terrain. Vast central basin is a low-lying plateau. Mountains in east.
Elevation. Mean elevation,
726 meters.
lowest point.
Atlantic Ocean 0 meters.
Highest point.
Pic Marguerite on Montagne and Glima, Mount Stanley 5,110 meters.
Natural resources. Cobalt, copper, niobium, tantalum, petroleum, industrial and gem diamonds, gold, silver, zinc, manganese, tin, uranium, coal, hydropower, timber.
Land use. Agricultural land.
11.4%,
Arable land.
3.1%, /permanent crops,
0.3%. Permanent pasture.
8%,
Forest.
67.9%,
Other.
20.7%.
Irrigated land. 110 square kilometers.
Population distribution. Urban clusters are spread throughout the country, particularly in the northeast along the border with Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. The largest city is the capital, Kinshasa, located in the west along the Congo River. The south is least densely populated.
Natural hazards. Periodic droughts in south. Congo River floods. Seasonal. Active volcanoes in the east along the Great Rift Valley.
Volcanism.
Nyiragongo, 3,470 meters, which erupted in 2002 and is experiencing ongoing activity, poses a major threat to the city of Goma, home to 250,000 people. The volcano produces unusually fast-moving lava, known to travel up to 100 kilometers per hour. Nyiragongo has been deemed a decade volcano by the International Association of Volcanology and Chemistry of the Earth's interior, worthy of study due to its explosive history and close proximity to human populations. Its neighbor, Nyamuragira, which erupted in 2010, is Africa's most active volcano. Visoke is the only other historically active volcano.
Environment. Current issues. Poaching threatens wildlife populations. Water pollution. Deforestation. Forests endangered by fires set to clean the land for agricultural purposes. Forests also used as a source of fuel. Soil erosion. Mining. Diamonds, gold, coltan, a mineral used in creating capacitors for electronic devices, causing environmental damage.
Environment. International agreements. Party 2.
Biodiversity, climate change, Kyoto Protocol, desertification, endangered species, hazardous wastes, law of the sea, marine dumping, ozone layer protection, tropical timber 83, tropical timber 94, wetlands.
Signed, but not ratified.
Environmental modification.
Geography. Note 1.
Second largest country in Africa, after Algeria, and largest country in sub-Saharan Africa, straddles the equator, dense tropical rainforest in central river basin and eastern highlands. The narrow strip of land that controls the lower Congo River is the DRC's only outlet to the South Atlantic Ocean.
Note 2.
Because of its speed, cataracts, rapids, and turbulence, the Congo River, most of which flows through the DRC, has never been accurately measured along much of its length. Nonetheless, it is conceded to be the deepest river in the world. Estimates of its greatest depth vary between 220 and 250 meters.
People and society.
Congo, Democratic Republic of the
Population. 85,281,024.
Note.
Estimates for this country explicitly take into account the effects of excess mortality due to AIDS. This can result in lower life expectancy, higher infant mortality, higher death rates, lower population growth rates, and changes in the distribution of population by age and sex than would otherwise be expected.
Country comparison to the world.
16.
Nationality, noun.
Congolese, singular and plural.
Adjective.
Congolese or Congo.
Ethnic groups. Other and unspecified. Over 200 African ethnic groups, of which the majority are Bantu. The four largest tribes, Mongo, Luba, Congo, all Bantu, and the Mangbetu Azand, Hamitic, make up about 45% of the population.
Languages. French, official, Lingala, a lingua franca trade language. Kingwana, a dialect of Kiswahili or Swahili. Kai-Congo, Chiluba.
Religions. Roman Catholic 50%, Protestant 20%, Kimianguist 10%, Muslim 10%, other, includes syncretic sects and indigenous beliefs, 10%.
Demographic profile. Despite a wealth of fertile soil, hydroelectric power potential, and mineral resources, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, struggles with many socio-economic problems, including high infant and maternal mortality rates, malnutrition, poor vaccination coverage, lack of access to improved water sources and sanitation, and frequent and early fertility. Ongoing conflict, mismanagement of resources, and a lack of investment have resulted in food insecurity. Almost 30% of children under the age of 5 are malnourished. The overall coverage of basic public services, education, health, sanitation, and potable water, is very limited and piecemeal, with substantial regional and rural, urban disparities. Fertility remains high at almost 5 children per woman and is likely to remain high because of the low use of contraception and the cultural preference for larger families.
The DRC is a source in host country for refugees. Between 2012 and 2014, more than 119,000 Congolese refugees returned from the Republic of Congo to the relative stability of northwest DRC, but more than 540,000 Congolese refugees remained abroad as of year-end 2015. In addition, an estimated 3.9 million Congolese were internally displaced as of October 2017, the vast majority fleeing violence between rebel group and Congolese armed forces. Thousands of refugees have come to the DRC from neighboring countries, including Rwanda, the Central African Republic, and Burundi.
Age structure 0–14 years.
41.25%. Male 17,735,697. Female 17,446,866.
15–24 years.
21.46%. Male 9,184,871. Female 9,117,462.
25–54 years.
30.96%. Male 13,176,714. Female 13,225,429.
55–64 years.
3.63%. Male 1,472,758. Female 1,625,637.
65 years and over.
2.69%. Male 974,293. Female 1,321,297.
Population pyramid.
Population pyramid.
Dependency ratios.
Dependency ratios are a measure of the age structure of a population. They relate the number of individuals that are likely to be economically dependent on the support of others. Dependency ratios contrast the ratio of youths, ages 0 to 14, and the elderly, ages 65 plus, to the number of those in the working age group, ages 15 to 64. Changes in the dependency ratio provide an indication of potential social support requirements resulting from changes in population age structures, as fertility leave. More dependency ratios. Field listing.
Total dependency ratio
97.5.
Youth dependency ratio
91.5.
Elderly dependency ratio
6.
Potential support ratio
16.8.
Median age total
18.8 years.
Male
18.6 years.
Female
19 years.
Country comparison to the world.
206.
Population growth rate 2.33%.
Country comparison to the world.
31.
Birth rate 32.8 births out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
29.
Death rate 9.4 deaths out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
50.
Net migration rate minus 0.1 migrant s out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world.
105.
Population distribution. Urban clusters are spread throughout the country, particularly in the northeast along the border with Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. The largest city is the capital, Kinshasa, located in the west along the Congo River. The south is least densely populated.
Urbanization. Urban population.
44.5% of total population.
Rate of urbanization.
4.53% annual rate of change.
Major urban areas. Population 13.171 million Kinshasa, capital, 2.305 million Mbuji-Mayi, 2.281 million Lubumbashi, 1.335 million Congo, 1.167 million Kisangani, 973,000 Bukavu.
Sex ratio, at birth.
1.03 male every 1 female.
0-14 years.
1.02 male every 1 female.
15-24 years.
1.01 male every 1 female.
25-54 years.
1 male every 1 female.
55-64 years.
0.89 male every 1 female.
65 years and over.
0.73 male every 1 female.
Total population.
1 male every 1 female.
Mother's mean age at first birth, 19.9 years.
Note.
Median age at first birth among women 25-29.
Maternal mortality rate 693 deaths/100,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
10.
Infant mortality rate, total.
66.7 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Male.
70.1 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Female.
63.1 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
Country comparison to the world.
8.
Life expectancy at birth, total population.
58.1 years.
Male.
56.5 years.
Female.
59.7 years.
Country comparison to the world.
213.
Total fertility rate, 4.54 children born, woman.
Country comparison to the world.
25.
Contraceptive prevalence rate, 20.4%. 2013 to 14.
Health expenditures, 4.3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
159.
Physicians density, 0.09 physicians out of 1,000 population.
Drinking water source, improved.
Urban,
81.1% of population.
rural,
31.2% of population.
total,
52.4% of population.
unimproved.
Urban,
18.9% of population.
rural,
68.8% of population.
total.
47.6% of population.
Sanitation facility access, improved.
Urban,
28.5% of population.
rural,
28.7% of population.
total,
28.7% of population.
unimproved.
Urban,
71.5% of population.
rural,
71.3% of population.
total.
71.3% of population.
HIV/AIDS, adult prevalence rate, 0.7%.
Country comparison to the world.
52.
HIV/AIDS, people living with HIV/AIDS, 390,000.
Country comparison to the world.
18.
HIV/AIDS, deaths, 17,000.
Country comparison to the world.
12.
Major infectious diseases, degree of risk.
Very high.
Food or waterborne diseases.
Bacterial and protozoal diarrhea, hepatitis A, and typhoid fever.
Vector-borne diseases.
Malaria, dengue fever, and trypanosomiasis gambiense, African sleeping sickness.
Water contact diseases.
Schistosomiasis.
Animal contact diseases.
Rabies.
Obesity. Adult prevalence rate, 6.7%.
Country comparison to the world.
164.
Children under the age of 5 years underweight. 23.4%.
Country comparison to the world.
22.
Education expenditures 1.5% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
171.
Literacy. Definition.
Age 15 and over can read and write French, Lingala, Kingwana, or Shaluba.
Total population.
77%.
Male.
88.5%.
Female.
66.5%.
School life expectancy. Primary to tertiary education. Total.
10 years.
Male.
11 years.
Female.
9 years.
Unemployment. Youth ages 15-24. Total.
8.7%.
Male.
11.3%.
Female.
6.8%.
Country comparison to the world.
134.
Government.
Congo. Democratic Republic of the.
Country name. Conventional long form.
Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Conventional short form. Local long form.
République démocratique du Congo.
Local short form. Former.
Congo Free State. Belgian Congo. Congo/Leopoldville. Congo/Kinshasa, Zaire.
Abbreviation.
DRC. Or DROC.
Etymology.
Named for the Congo River, most of which lies within the DRC. The river name derives from Congo, a Bantu kingdom that occupied its mouth at the time of Portuguese discovery in the late 15th century and whose name stems from its people, the Bakongo, meaning hunters.
Government type. Semi-presidential republic.
Capital name.
Kinshasa.
Geographic coordinates.
419s. 1518e.
Time difference.
UTC +1, 6 hours ahead of Washington, D.C. during standard time.
Note.
The DRC has 2 time zones.
Administrative divisions. 26 provinces. Provinces. Singular. Province. Bazuya. Loria. Equateur. Haut-Katanga. Upper Katanga. Haut-Lomami. Upper Lomami. Haut-Oya. Upper Oya. Atori. Kaysi. Kaysi Central. Kaysi Oriental. East Kaysi. Kinshasa. Congo Central. Kwango. Kwilu. Lomami. Lualaba. Mindom. Manima. Mongala. Nord Kivu. North Kivu. North Ubangi. North Ubangi. Sankuru. Sud Kivu. South Kivu. Sud Ubangi. South Ubangi. Tanganyika. Chopo. Shuapa.
Independence. The 30th of June 1960, from Belgium.
National holiday. Independence Day, the 30th of June, 1960.
Constitution. History.
Several previous, latest adopted the 13th of May 2005, approved by referendum 18th to the 19th of 2005, promulgated the 18th of February 2006.
Amendments.
Proposed by the President of the Republic, by the government, by either House of Parliament, or by public petition. Agreement on the substance of a proposed bill requires absolute majority vote in both houses. Passage requires a referendum only if both houses in joint meeting fail to achieve 3/5 majority vote. Constitutional articles including the form of government, universal suffrage, judicial independence, political pluralism, and personal freedoms cannot be amended. Amended 2011.
Legal system. Civil law system primarily based on Belgian law, but also customary and tribal law.
International Law Organization participation accepts compulsory ICJ jurisdiction with reservations. Accepts SIC jurisdiction.
Citizenship. Citizenship by birth.
No.
Citizenship by descent only.
At least one parent must be a citizen of the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Dual citizenship recognized.
No.
Residency requirement for naturalization.
5 years.
Suffrage. 18 years of age. Universal and compulsory.
Executive branch. Chief of State.
President Félix Tshisekedi. Since the 24th of January 2019.
Head of Government.
Prime Minister Bruno Tshibala. Since the 7th of April 2017. Deputy Prime Ministers José Maitla, Leonard Shiakai Tundu, Henri Mova-Sankani. Since February 2018.
Cabinet.
Ministers of State appointed by the President.
Elections/appointments.
President directly elected by simple majority vote for a 5-year term. Eligible for a second term. Election last held on the 30th of December 2018. Next to be held in December 2023. Prime Minister appointed by the President.
Election results.
Félix Tshisekedi elected President. Percent of vote. Felix Tshisekedi, UDPS 38.6%, Martin Fayulu, Lamuka Coalition 34.8%, Emmanuel Ramazani Shadari, PPRD 23.9%, other 2.7%. Note: election marred by serious voting irregularities.
Legislative branch. Description:
Bicameral parliament or parliament consists of
Senate, 108 seats, members indirectly elected by provincial assemblies by proportional representation vote. Members serve 5-year terms.
National Assembly, 500 seats, 439 members directly elected in multi-seat constituencies by proportional representation vote and 61 directly elected in single-seat constituencies by simple majority vote. Members serve 5-year terms.
Elections. Senate, last held on the 19th of January 2007. Follow-on election has been delayed.
National Assembly, last held on the 30th of December 2018.
Election results. Senate, percent of vote by party. NAR, seats by party. 22, MLK 14, 7, MLK 7, 6, 3, MS 3, PALU 2, other 18, independent 26. Composition: men 103, women 5, percent of women 4.6%.
National Assembly, percent of vote by party, NA, seats by party, PPRD 62, UDPS 41, PPPD 29, MSR 27, MLC 22, PALU 19, UNC 17, ARC 16, AFDC 15, ECT 11, RRC 11, other 214, includes numerous political parties that won 10 or fewer seats and 2 constituencies where voting was halted. Independent 16, composition, men 456, women 44, percent of women 8.8%, total parliament percent of women 8.1%. Note: the November 2011 election was marred by violence, including the destruction of ballots in 2 constituencies resulting in the closure of polling sites. Election results were delayed 3 months, strongly contested, and continue to be unresolved.
Judicial branch. Highest courts.
Court of Cassation or Cour de Cassation consists of 26 justices and organized into legislative and judiciary sections. Constitutional Court consists of 9 judges.
Judge selection in term of office.
Court of Cassation judges nominated by the Judicial Service Council, an independent body of public prosecutors and selected judges of the lower courts. Judge tenure. Constitutional Court judges, 3 nominated by the President, 3 by the Judicial Service Council, and 3 by the Legislature. Judges appointed by the President to serve 9-year non-renewable terms with 1/3 of the membership renewed every 3 years.
Subordinate courts.
State Security Court, Court of Appeals, organized into administrative and judiciary sections, Tribunal de Grande, Magistrates Courts, Customary Courts.
Political parties and leaders. Christian Democrat Party or PDC, Jose Ndundo.
Congolese Rally for Democracy or RCD. Azarias Rubawa.
Convention of Christian Democrats or CDC.
Engagement for Citizenship and Development or ESIDA, Martin Fayulu.
Forces of Renewal or FR, Mbuji-Mayi.
Lamuka Coalition, Martin Fayulu, includes ESIDA, MLC, Together for Change, CNB, and Nouvel Elan.
Movement for the Liberation of the Congo or MLC, Jean-Pierre Bemba.
Nouvel Elan, Adolphe Musito.
Our Congo or CNB, Freddie Matungilu.
People's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy or PPRD, Henri Movasekani.
Social Movement for Renewal or MSR, Pierre Lumbi.
Together for Change, Moise Katumbi.
Unified Lumumbist Party or PALU, Antoine Kazenga.
Union for the Congolese Nation or UNC, Vital Kamer.
Union for Democracy and Social Progress or UDPS, Felix Tshisekedi.
International Organization Participation, ACP, FDB, O, CIMAC, CEPCL, COMESA, ITI, Compliant Country, FAO, G24, G77, ERIA, IBRD, ICAO, ICC, NGOs, ICT, ICRM, IDA, IFAT, IFC, IFX, IO, ILO, IMF, IMO, Interpol, IOC, IAM, IPU, ISO, ITSO, ITU, ITUC, NGOs, MEGA, NAM, OIF, OPCW, PCA, SADC, UN, UNCTAD, UNESCO, UNIDO, UNTO, UPU, WCO, WFTU, NGOs, WHO, WIPO, WMO, WTO.
Diplomatic representation in the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador François Mbuji-Mayi, since the 23rd of September 2015.
Chancery.
1726 M Street, Northwest, Suite 601, Washington, D.C., 20036.
Telephone.
12022347690 through 7691.
Fax.
12022342609.
Representative Office.
New York, New York.
Diplomatic representation from the U.S. Chief of Mission.
Ambassador Michael A. Hammer, since the 22nd of December 2018.
Embassy.
310 Avenue des Aviators, Kinshasa, Gombe.
Mailing address.
Unit 2220, DPO 09828.
Telephone.
243-0815560151.
Fax.
243-815560175.
Flag description. Sky blue field divided diagonally from the lower hoist corner to upper fly corner by a red stripe bordered by two narrow yellow stripes. A yellow, five-pointed star appears in the upper hoist corner. Blue represents peace and hope, red the blood of the country's martyrs, and yellow the country's wealth and prosperity. The star symbolizes unity and the brilliant future for the country.
National symbols. Leopard, national colors.
Sky blue, red, yellow.
National anthem. Name.
Devout Congolese, Arise Congolese.
Lyrics. Music.
Joseph Layutumba / Simon Pierre Boka Dime Parsilondi.
Note.
Adopted 1960, replaced when the country was known as Zaire, but redopted in 1997.
Economy.
Congo, Democratic Republic of the
Economy. Overview. The economy of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a nation endowed with vast natural resource wealth, continues to perform poorly. Systemic corruption since independence in 1960, combined with country-wide instability and intermittent conflict that began in the early 90s, has reduced national output and government revenue, and increased external debt. With the installation of a transitional government in 2003 after peace accords, economic conditions slowly began to improve as the government reopened relations with international financial institutions and international donors, and President Kabila began implementing reforms. Progress on implementing substantive economic reforms remains slow because of political instability, bureaucratic inefficiency, corruption, and patronage, which also dampen international investment prospects.
Renewed activity in the mining sector, the source of most export income, boosted Kinshasa's fiscal position and GDP growth until 2015, but low commodity prices have led to slower growth, volatile inflation, currency depreciation, and a growing fiscal deficit. An uncertain legal framework, corruption, and a lack of transparency in government policy are long-term problems for the large mining sector and for the economy as a whole. Much economic activity still occurs in the informal sector and is not reflected in GDP data.
Poverty remains widespread in DRC, and the country failed to meet any Millennium Development Goals by 2015. DRC also concluded its program with the IMF in 2015. The price of copper, the DRC's primary export, plummeted in 2015 and remained at record lows during 2016-17, reducing government revenues, expenditures, and foreign exchange reserves, while inflation reached nearly 50% in mid-2017, its highest level since the early 2000s.
GDP, purchasing power parity, $68.6 billion.
$66.33 billion.
$64.78 billion.
Note.
Data in 2017 dollars.
Country comparison to the world.
103.
GDP. Official exchange rate, $41.44 billion.
GDP, real growth rate, 3.4%.
2.4%.
6.9%.
Country comparison to the world.
101.
GDP, per capita. PPP, $800.
$800.
$800.
Note.
Data are in 2017 dollars.
Country comparison to the world.
226.
Gross national saving, 11.5% of GDP.
8.7% of GDP.
16.5% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
154.
GDP, composition, by end use, household consumption.
78.5%.
Government consumption.
12.7%.
Investment in fixed capital.
15.9%.
Investment in inventories.
0%.
Exports of goods and services.
25.7%.
Imports of goods and services.
Minus 32.8%.
GDP, composition, by sector of origin, agriculture.
19.7%.
Industry.
43.6%.
Services.
36.7%.
Agriculture, products, coffee, sugar, palm oil, rubber, tea, cotton, cocoa, quinine, cassava, manioc, tapioca, bananas, plantains, peanuts, root crops, corn, fruits, wood products.
Industries, mining, copper, cobalt, gold, diamonds, coltan, zinc, tin, tungsten, mineral processing, consumer products, textiles, plastics, footwear, cigarettes, metal products, processed foods and beverages, timber, cement, commercial ship repair.
Industrial production growth rate, 1.6%.
Country comparison to the world.
140.
Labor force, 31.36 million.
Country comparison to the world.
18.
Labor force, by occupation, agriculture.
NA.
Industry.
NA.
Services.
NA.
Unemployment rate, NA.
Population below poverty line, 63%.
Household income or consumption by percentage share, lowest 10%.
2.3%.
Highest 10%.
34.7%.
Distribution of family income, Gini index, 42.1.
Country comparison to the world.
53.
Budget, revenues.
4.634 billion.
Expenditures.
5.009 billion.
Taxes and other revenues, 11.2%. Of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
211.
Budget surplus, plus, or deficit, dash, minus 0.9%, of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
72.
Public debt, 18.1% of GDP.
19.3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
192.
Fiscal year, calendar year.
Inflation rate, consumer prices, 41.5%.
18.2%.
Country comparison to the world.
224.
Central bank discount rate, 20%. The 31st of December 2017.
20%. The 31st of December 2011.
Country comparison to the world.
4.
Commercial bank prime lending rate, 20.62%.
19.05%.
Country comparison to the world.
13.
Stock of Naira money, $1.044 billion.
$1.192 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
157.
Stock of broad money, $1.044 billion.
$1.192 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
162.
Stock of domestic credit, $3.252 billion.
$3.582 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
136.
Market value of publicly traded shares, NA.
Current account balance, minus $200 million.
Minus $1.215 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
98.
Exports, $10.98 billion.
$8.228 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
90.
Exports, partners, China 41.4%, Zambia 22.7%, South Korea 7.2%, Finland 6.2%.
Exports, commodities, diamonds, copper, gold, cobalt, wood products, crude oil, coffee.
Imports $10.82 billion.
$10.21 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
101.
Imports, commodities, foodstuffs, mining and other machinery, transport equipment, fuels.
Imports, partners, China 19.9%, South Africa 18%, Zambia 10.4%, Belgium 9.1%, India 4.3%, Tanzania 4.2%.
Reserves of foreign exchange in gold, $457.5 million.
$708.2 million.
Country comparison to the world.
155.
Debt, external, $4.963 billion.
$5.35 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
134.
Exchange rates, Congolese francs, CDF, per US dollar.
1,546.8.
1,010.3.
1,010.3.
925.99.
925.23.
Energy.
Congo, Democratic Republic of there.
Electricity access, population without electricity.
61.4 million.
Electrification, total population.
9%.
Electrification, urban areas.
19%.
Electrification, rural areas.
2%.
Electricity, production, 9.046 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
106.
Electricity, consumption, 7.43 billion kWh.
Country comparison to the world.
106.
Electricity, exports, 422 million.
Country comparison to the world.
70.
Electricity, imports, 20 million kWh.
Country comparison to the world.
113.
Electricity, installed generating capacity, 2.587 million.
Country comparison to the world.
105.
Electricity, from fossil fuels, 2% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
210.
Electricity, from nuclear fuels, 0% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
69.
Electricity, from hydroelectric plants, 98% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
4.
Electricity, from other renewable sources, 0% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
182.
Crude oil, production, 19,160 barrel, day.
Country comparison to the world.
65.
Crude oil, exports, 20,000 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
49.
Crude oil, imports, 0 barrel, day.
Country comparison to the world.
112.
Crude oil, proved reserves, 180 million barrels.
Country comparison to the world.
58.
Refined petroleum products, production, 0 barrel, day.
Country comparison to the world.
132.
Refined petroleum products, consumption, 21,000 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
136.
Refined petroleum products, exports, 0 barrel, day.
Country comparison to the world.
145.
Refined petroleum products, imports, 21,140 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
115.
Natural gas, production, 0 cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
118.
Natural gas, consumption, 0 qm.
Country comparison to the world.
134.
Natural gas, exports, 0 cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
85.
Natural gas, imports, 0 qm.
Country comparison to the world.
108.
Natural gas, proved reserves, 991.1 million cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
99.
Carbon dioxide emissions from consumption of energy, 3.146 million.
Country comparison to the world.
145.
Communications.
Congo, Democratic Republic of the
Telephones, fixed lines. Total subscriptions.
Na,
Subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
Na,
Telephones, mobile cellular. Total subscriptions.
35,270,156.
Subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
42.
Country comparison to the world.
39.
Telephone system. General assessment.
Barely adequate wire and microwave radio relay service in and between urban areas. Domestic satellite system with 14 Earth stations. Inadequate fixed line infrastructure. Efforts have been made to improve regulating the telecom sector. Wars and social upheaval have not promoted advancement. A revised Telecommunications Act adopted in May 2018, though the practical implementation of the Act's measures remains dubious.
Domestic.
Fixed line connections only about 8 per 100 persons. Given the backdrop of a wholly inadequate fixed line infrastructure, the use of mobile cellular services has surged in mobile teledensity is over 42 per 100 persons.
International.
Country code -243. Satellite Earth Station -1 Intelsat, Atlantic Ocean. The country was finally connected to low-cost, high-quality international bandwidth through the WACS submarine fiber optic cable in 2013, and SCPT is rolling out a fiber optic national backbone network with support from China.
Broadcast media. State-owned TV broadcast station with near-national coverage. More than a dozen privately owned TV stations. 2 with near-national coverage. 2 state-owned radio stations are supplemented by more than 100 private radio stations. Transmissions of at least 2 international broadcasters are available.
Internet country code.
Internet users. Total.
3.016 million.
Percent of population.
3.8%.
Country comparison to the world.
97.
Broadband. Fixed subscriptions. Total.
1,000.
Subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
Less than 1.
Country comparison to the world.
191.
Transportation.
Congo, Democratic Republic of the
National Air Transport System. Number of registered air carriers.
8.
Inventory of registered aircraft operated by air carriers.
13.
Annual passenger traffic on registered air carriers.
476,352.
Annual freight traffic on registered air carriers.
85,839.
Civil aircraft registration country code prefix 9Q.
Airports 198.
Country comparison to the world.
27.
Airports, with paved runways, total
26.
over 3,047 meters.
3.
2,438 to 3,047 meters.
3.
1,524 to 2,437 meters.
17.
914 to 1,523 meters.
2.
Under 914 meters.
1.
Airports, with unpaved runways, total
172.
1,524 to 2,437 meters.
20.
914 to 1,523 meters.
87.
Under 914 meters.
65.
Heliports, 1.
Pipelines 62 kilometers gas, 77 kilometers oil, 756 kilometers refined products.
Railways, total
4,007 kilometers.
narrow gauge,
3,882 kilometers 1.067 m gauge. 858 kilometers electrified.
125 1.000 meter gauge.
Country comparison to the world.
47.
Roadways, waterways, 15,000 kilometers, including the Congo River, its tributaries, and unconnected lakes.
Country comparison to the world.
8.
Merchant marine.
Merchant marine may be defined as all ships engaged in the carriage of goods, or all commercial vessels, as opposed to all non-military ships, which excludes tugs, fishing vessels, offshore oil rigs, etc.
Total.
27.
By type.
General cargo 12, oil tanker 1, Other 14.
Country comparison to the world.
131.
Ports and terminals. Major seaports.
Banana.
River or lake ports.
Boma, Bumba, Kinshasa, Kisangani, Matadi, Mbandaka, Congo.
Kindu, Lualaba, Bukavu, Goma, Lake Kivu, Kalemi, Lake Tanganyika.
Military and security.
Congo, Democratic Republic of there.
Military expenditures 1.34% of GDP.
1.36% of GDP.
1% of GDP.
1.25% of GDP.
1.21% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
86.
Military branches. Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Forces d'Armées de la République démocratique du Congo, FARC.
Army, National Navy, La Marine Nationale, Congolese Air Force, Force Aérienne Congolaise, FAC.
Military service age and obligation. 1845 years of age for voluntary and compulsory military service.
Transnational issues.
Congo, Democratic Republic of there.
Disputes. International heads of the Great Lakes states and UN pledged in 2004 to abate tribal, rebel, and militia fighting in the region, including northeast Congo, where the UN Organization mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, MONUC, organized in 1999, maintains over 16,500 uniformed peacekeepers. Members of Uganda's Lord's Resistance Army forces continue to seek refuge in Congo's Garamba National Park as peace talks with the Uganda government evolve. The location of the boundary in the broad Congo River with the Republic of the Congo is indefinite except in the Pool Malabo/Stanley Pool area. Uganda and DRC dispute Rukwanzi Island in Lake Albert and other areas on the Semliki River with hydrocarbon potential. Boundary Commission continues discussions over Congolese-administered triangle of land on the right bank of the Lunkinda River claimed by Zambia near the DRC village of Pweto. DRC accuses Angola of shifting monuments.
Refugees and internally displaced persons. Refugees, country of origin.
216,857. Rwanda, 172,503. Central African Republic, 97,320. South Sudan, refugees and asylum seekers, 43,025. Burundi, 2019.
IDPs.
4.5 million. Fighting between government forces and rebels since mid-1990s. Conflict in Kasai region since 2016.
Trafficking in persons. Current situation.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo is a source, destination, and possibly a transit country for men, women, and children subjected to forced labor and sex trafficking. The majority of this trafficking is internal, and much of it is perpetrated by armed groups and rogue government forces outside official control in the country's unstable eastern provinces. Congolese adults are subjected to forced labor, including debt bondage, in unlicensed mines, and women may be forced into prostitution. Congolese women and girls are subjected to forced marriages where they are vulnerable to domestic servitude or sex trafficking, while children are forced to work in agriculture, mining, mineral smuggling, vending, pottering, and begging. Congolese women and children migrate to countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe where some are subjected to forced prostitution, domestic servitude, and forced labor in agriculture and diamond mining. Indigenous and foreign armed groups, including the Lord's Resistance Army, abduct and forcibly recruit Congolese adults and children to serve as laborers, porters, domestics, combatants, and sex slaves. Some elements of the Congolese National Army, FARC, also forced adults to carry supplies, equipment, and looted goods, but no cases of the FARC recruiting child soldiers were reported in 2014, a significant change.
Tier rating.
Tier 2 watch list. The Democratic Republic of the Congo does not fully comply with the minimum standards for the elimination of trafficking. However, it is making significant efforts to do so. The government took significant steps to hold military and police officials complicit in human trafficking accountable with convictions for sex slavery and arrests of armed group commanders for the recruitment and use of child soldiers. The government appears to have ceased the recruitment of child soldiers through the implementation of a UN-backed action plan. Little effort was made to address labor and sex trafficking crimes committed by persons other than officials, or to identify the victims, or to provide or refer the victims to care services. Awareness of various forms of trafficking is limited among law enforcement personnel, and training and resources are inadequate to conduct investigations.